Yes. So, good evening, one and all. I, Dr. Shalini Gautam, Associate Professor DME, would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you who are spending their evening with us to deciding their future, the students, the teaching fraternity. Thank you all of you to join us. The basic purpose of this webinar is to facilitate all the students to take an informed decision regarding their career. We all know that unlike in the past, when parents only thought about medicine and engineering as a good career options, at present, students have n number of career options to choose from, ranges from being a lawyer to a media person to a budding manager. So keeping this in mind, we are going to talk about the various options that a student would have when he opts for the Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, which is a state-run university. Now, before we start, I would like to welcome Vandana ma'am, Principal Sanford World School, Greater Noida, who inspires us, who is a great academician, and who was instrumental in channelizing this webinar and organizing this webinar. She was so concerned about the future of the students that when I sent her the proposal, she immediately said yes to it. So, ma'am, we would like to hear a few words from you before we start with the session.
Very good evening to everybody. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome Professor Dr. Ravikant Swami sir. Sir, thank you for taking out your time for coming here to orient the children. Dr. Shalini Gautam, because you have been primarily the one whom I've kept in touch, and ultimately we've enabled this entire program to happen. Now, a very good evening to all the students also present here and all my staff members. As I look at, I think there's one major worry that every parent, every student and everybody has, and that is, picking up the right career. And what is most important is that, one question is what we wish to do, and the other question is how do we take that path? How do we reach our destination? I think that is where guidance plays a very, very instrumental role. And I'm extremely grateful to Ravikant sir and Shalini ma'am that you have created this particular platform for the children, because I'm sure they have a lot of questions in their mind. There's a lot that you'll be sharing with them today, and that would really give them insight into what exactly and how exactly they should proceed with their career options as well. So I really wish you all the best, and looking forward to a great session today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for those kind words. I would also like to welcome Dr. Ravikant Swami, sir, who is the director DME. Sir has over 24 years of experience in teaching and administration and holds a PhD degree from University of Rajasthan. So without much ado, I would like to request sir to please start with the presentation. Over to you, sir.
Good evening to all. It doesn't happen quite often that we have sessions in the evening, but I must thank Vandana ma'am that it sounds better than morning and afternoon sessions. So I'll straight away begin with the presentation. Okay, so there are 5 parts of this presentation, but before that, just a look at this university, which is located in Dwarka. Now, what will be discussed in the coming 25 minutes? Vandana ma'am, we need to tell the students that we are not going to speak for long, because the learning curve, we understand very well, is around 40 to 45 minutes. After that, even we lose our attention. So students, don't worry about that. In the coming 25 minutes, we are going to talk about 5 things. What are these 5 things? Let us see. First is about the university, right? Second is the professional courses available there. Third is the admission process in which you are interested, because this is how we'll tell you the process of how to get the admission. Of course, we'll be talking about fee structures. रुपए पैसे की बात करना तो बहुत जरूरी है. It's your parents' hard-earned money. And towards the end of this session, we would be talking about the placement scope after each of the professional courses, right? This is what we are going to discuss. So we'll be devoting around 5 to 7 minutes to each of these points. So the first thing is about the university. Yes, in the Indian context, we have around 900 universities. Colleges I am not considering because there are, say, thousands of colleges. Now, these 900 universities fall into two categories, the government ones and the private ones, right? So when we talk about this university, IP University, it is a Delhi government university. The government of Delhi, we call it Government of National Capital Territory. And then obviously UGC is the head of all the universities in our country. Now, gradings are important for students to understand. Now, when we talk about NAC, yes, IP University has got A grading of NAC. In NAC, we have A, B, and C gradings. So IP, obviously, because it's an university located in Delhi, so it has got a very good ranking. Now, another kind of ranking is what we call the NIRF ranking. Now, NIRF is National Institutional Ranking Framework. Now, audience, let me tell you that ranking is again a very controversial area. But when we talk about NAC and NIRF, then these are the rankings provided by the government itself, right? So you can depend on these rankings. Now, when we talk about NIRF rank, out of how many universities the rank is 95? Out of 900 universities. So in a way, try to understand the point that it is among the top 10% universities in this country, right? Well, NIRF provides rankings for courses also. When it comes to engineering, the ranking is even better than, means it's better than the above 10%. In business management, say for courses like BBA or MBA, IP University ranks among the top 57. It has got a 57th rank when it comes to BBA and management courses. So these are about the rankings. And NIRF and NAC means government rankings, not rankings by within quotes, India Today or anything, right? You can understand. Okay. Now, these are, has got around 100 affiliated colleges, and these colleges are located not only inside Delhi, but also in the districts which are neighboring Delhi. When we talk about the districts neighboring Delhi, then it means Gautam Budh Nagar, Ghaziabad, then Faridabad, then Gurugram. In all these districts also, IPU has got its colleges, right? Well, it's a very large university with around 80,000 students and around 80 courses, right? Well, students, to conclude this part one about IPU University, I have something interesting for you. Well, this is the interesting part. Notable alumni. Yes, while we talk about, say, any university, people do ask, means the universities are known by the name of their students. When we talk about University of Delhi, which is a alternative to IPU. Delhi government has got two universities. One is the DU, University of Delhi. Second is IPU. Now, these two universities do not compete with each other. They are alternatives to each other in the sense that DU runs academic courses like BA, BCom, pass course, all those courses, while IPU has been established by the government for running professional courses. I'll talk about the difference between professional and academic courses in a while. But before that, this interesting session, yes. So I hope the students cannot guess. I'm not saying they can guess. I'm saying they cannot guess who are the notable alumni of IP University. But yes, the first one is Tapsi Pannu. My dear students, what did Tapsi Pannu do from IPU? Well, she did her BTech. And yes, I also watched the last one, Haseen Dilruba. It is a latest release, and I can tell you it's a wonderful movie. Well, not only that, Tapsi is among the Forbes India Celebrity 100 list since 2018. So that's about the alumni, because when we talk about University of Delhi, we talk about Amitabh Bachchan and Shakti Kapoor. So now IP is competing in this region also. Okay, there are other notable alumni as well. If you are fond of reading novels, then these are very important novels. And the author is Gaurav Sharma. Well, God of the Salid. Salid means something which is in bad image or something like that, right? So Gaurav Sharma, now obviously what happens, these people settle down abroad. So he has also settled in some other country, I believe Canada. So he also studied at IPU. Then Gaurav Gogoi is deputy leader of Congress in the Lok Sabha. He also studied at IPU, right? IPU, when I say IPU, it means the affiliated colleges, because IPU itself does not run any course. IPU is nothing but a collection of various colleges. As I said, there are 100 around affiliated colleges. Okay, well, Guneet Monga again is interesting alumni. She did her BJMC in 2004. I'm sure you have watched movies like Lunchbox, Masan, etc., right? She is also among the top women achievers in the global entertainment industry. So students, tomorrow your photo may be here, God knows. Let's hope so. Coming to the point again. Okay, so the professional courses versus academic courses. Well, like MA History is an academic course, while BBA, BJMC, Hotel Management, Engineering, these are professional courses. So how do we differentiate? The difference is very simple. A professional course gives you knowledge plus skills, how to apply that knowledge, and the attitude, right? And the output is placements. While like MA History or MA Psychology will give you knowledge and knowledge and knowledge, and the output is what? Knowledge enhancement. Obviously, your knowledge is enhanced, but then these courses do not talk about how to apply these. Students in the globalized era, with the government sector shrinking and the private sector expanding, you know what is in demand. Yes, professional courses are in demand. Okay, moving ahead to the second point, what are the professional courses at IPU? Students, the list is long, but I have taken the important courses and we have categorized them. The first category of professional courses at IPU is the stream neutral courses, which means students from any stream can take admission in these courses. So these are the law courses, and I can tell you the 3-year law degree is gone now. It is not popular, not in vogue now. What is in vogue is an integrated 5-year degree, wherein you get 2 degrees simultaneously and you save 1 year, right? So when you will do BBA, LLB 5-year integrated, you get 2 professional degrees. One is BBA, another is LLB. After that, you can go for LLM or you can go for MBA. Either way, you are a fit case. Similarly, journalism and mass comm, I was just quoting Guneet Monga did BJMC from IPU only. So this is another course which trains you for media industry. Then BBA is a management course. Hotel management, yes, hotel management, tourism, catering. These are the courses available at IPU and are the stream neutral courses. Whichever stream you have done your 12th in, bio, medical, non-medical, commerce, arts, even vocational, you can take admission. You are eligible for admission in these courses. Then there are courses like BTech and architecture, which are there only for the mathematics students. If I am an art student or bio, I am not eligible to take admission in these courses, right? Little more about the IPU courses. Bachelor of Commerce honors, Then Bachelor of Arts, Eco Honors. These honors courses again have a twist of professional courses, although they are not professional in the pure sense of the term. Then for bio students, we have pharmacy, which obviously is going to be a forthcoming sector in the post-COVID era. And then nursing again means, I don't know, some people have a wrong, a taboo kind of notion regarding nursing, but I can tell you nursing is again a great career. So this is about the courses. Other than this, IPU has got MBBS, it has got courses in yoga, dentistry, etc., which I have not included in this session, right? I've included only the major courses. It's not possible for me in 25 minutes to talk about 80 courses. Coming to the admission process, well, it's very simple. The link is there. The link will be provided to you by Dr. Shalini or Vandana in the link, and then you can you are there. 1,200 rupees is the fee. Again, government university, so the fee prospectus is quite reasonable. You can register yourself. Yes, for that registration, the last date is 15th July. So yet more than a week to go, right? Well, another point is that out of these courses about which we talk, there are two categories again. One is like engineering, architecture, law. For these courses, IPU does not conduct its own entrance test. So what does it do? It accepts the scores of the national level tests, right? So national level tests for engineering, it is JEE. For architecture, it is NATA. For law, it is CLAT. So you have to appear for these courses. Plus, in any case, you have to register for IPU by going on this link. Now, what about the other courses like BBA, hotel management, media, etc.? So my dear students, for these courses, IPU will conduct its own entrance. The last date for applying for those courses is 15th July. So the point is that if you want to get admission in any course, whether it is through national level test or not, you have to register yourself for IPU. Last date is 15th. Due to the fear of COVID wave 3. Audible, Shalini? Okay. So due to the COVID wave 3, there's a lot of fear because COVID wave 2 was disastrous. So there's a special provision in 2021, and the provision says that you can visit the college and on-the-spot admissions can also be done. Although, even in the case of on-the-spot admissions, you need to appear in all those entrances. IPU is very rigid, very strict. If say someone has not appeared at JEE, of course for JEE the last date is still there. JEE will be conducted 4 times this year, right? 2 times it has already been conducted, 2 more times it will be conducted. And for IPU the last date is still there. Of course, there's no point in conducting the session after the last date. So we are talking at least 10 days in advance. So the condition is, even if you go to the college and take on the spot admission, the condition remains. It remains that you have to apply for IPU and you have to apply for JEE, NATA, CLAT, etc. Right? Is that clear? So the best way is, if you are interested in any IPU course, visit your nearby college and then they can guide you further, right? But yes, colleges have been authorized to make on-the-spot admissions due to the COVID scenario. So that was about the admission process. Moving ahead, fee structures. Yes, your parents' hard-earned money. Well, very simple. IPU is not like a private university where the charges are very high. I cannot name private universities, but yes, we do understand that private universities have a higher fee structure as compared to government universities. So in the case of government university, it's very simple. For each and every course, the fee ranges between 80,000 and 1,10,000 per year. So these are the charges which I believe in today's era are quite nominal. Another thing, Since it is a government university, there are no hidden charges. No college can tell you once you are admitted that, okay, we need money for picnic or placement or whatever. No additional money for industrial visits or anything, right? So that is the beauty of any government organization. So that's about the money part. Let us move ahead. The scope of placement. So this is the last part of our presentation, students. Then we'll be taking up the questions. Well, as far as the law courses are concerned, BA LLB, BB LLB integrated courses, the scope as far as placements are concerned, the first thing is you can start your own practice, what we call litigation. Second is you can join a law firm. Third is you can prepare for judiciary. These three are the primary scopes of any law course. Talking about hotel management and catering technology, yes, tourism, hotel industry, these courses, I believe the scope is subdued as on date because the hotel industry is bearing the brunt of COVID. We are not going and staying out in hotels. We are not enjoying parties. So this area, hotel management, is facing a problem as on date in 2021. But my dear students, I can tell you that in 2025, when you will be graduating, when you will be completing hotel management, it will be a sunrise industry. Because, you know, industries rise, fall, these cycles keep on going on. But, these are cycles. So those who will take admission in 2021, in 2025, they'll be facing a very, very good kind of situation as far as hotel management and tourism is concerned. Well, BTech for science students, excellent area. But regarding BTech, I want to tell you something interesting. Is BTech engineering technology something of very, very cyclical nature. At one point in time, when I was doing my 12th in 1990, okay, so in 1990, civil probably was at the top. Then mechanical was at the top. Then came electrical. But then what is the situation today? Well, the situation today is that BTech means computer science, right? Because the wave of digitization, which was already there, and believe me, digitization as far as a country like India or this entire world is concerned, till now it is just the tip of the iceberg. Nothing has been done as far as digitization is concerned, or what I'm trying to tell is a lot needs to be done. So when we talk about BTech, yes, I must say computer science, electronics, or what we call the soft branches. These soft branches have an immense scope, more so in the wave of digitization in the post-COVID era. I can tell you, students, COVID has taught us, if it has taught us one lesson, that is go digital, right? Otherwise, I would have come to your school and I would have been speaking with you in your auditorium. But this digitization is something which is going to come up in a big way. And who's going to do that? Computer science engineers. So yes, BTech computer science, I must tell that it has got immense scope, and minded, this scope is going to be there for the coming 4 or 5 decades. I can assure you on that. So yes, BTech computer science this is about the placement scope. Architecture, yes, in the post demonetization era and in the post COVID world, housing industry is facing a downfall. But then in a highly populated country like India, how long housing can face a downfall? You know it very well, because we need more and more housing, because we have 18% of the world population. Well, 18% of the world population, we need housing. The demand of housing is incessant. It's going to continue for all times to come. Of course, till we control our population and we go for something like a population bill. So architecture, yes, as on date is little subdued, but then it's a 5-year course. By the time people will be completing after 5 years, civil industry would be doing well. Simultaneously, I must tell you that as far as housing is concerned, you may say that the demand is little down, means it's down today. But when we talk about infrastructure, roads, bridges, railways, that demand is still very much there. So architecture, yes, it is going to have a good demand in the coming days. Talking about commerce and economics, yes, Uh, Commerce means business. So like BBA, I'll first talk about BBA, then I'll come to commerce. Well, talking about any management course, the placement is in three traditional areas. What are those? Marketing, finance, and HR. These are the three traditional areas wherein managers are needed. We live in a mismanaged world. So who's going to manage that? Well, managers are going to do that. So that is the scope of placement of BBA. Traditionally, it's marketing, finance, and HR. But then there are large number of upcoming areas like, say, like aviation, like pharma, like even international business, MBA in IT. So these are the scopes for management courses. Or in a way, I can say that management is something which is needed by each and every organization. I'm sure your school has great managers. Vandana ma'am is a great manager because means managers who bother about their students are good managers. Otherwise, who cares for a career counseling session? Means only the forward-looking people care for that. Uh, that's the scope of BBA or a business management course. Well, BBA has got a very easy placement, I can tell you. Means companies keep on calling colleges that, okay, give us BBAs because managers are needed in great numbers. Talking about this Bachelor of Commerce honors and eco honors, yes, these are somewhat related to BBA. Means these are not purely professional courses, as I said, but these courses, then after these courses, you can go for MA in economics or say MCom. Talking about biology, pharmacy, nursing, yes, I must acknowledge that in the pro-COVID era, governments are going to invest in the health sector, and therefore pharma, medicine, nursing, they have a good scope. Towards the end of the presentation, this question is coming in your mind, isn't it? So what do you think? How I am going to answer it? Well, students, the answer is very simple. I believe that it does not matter which subject or which course you are choosing, because in every course on this earth, you find 25% students, they are super success, 20% they do not succeed, or they are, say, partial success, and then 50% students, they perform well. You take any course, you do any career, you pursue any career, 25% students do wonderfully, 50% they do good. They are happy in their lives, they earn, they are happy. And then there are 25% who are never happy, right? So this is the kind of structure you find. So whichever course you take, my job is to tell you about the courses, about the process, about the scope, and not to be judgmental, right? So this is what happens in any course. I can even tell you about IITs, my dear students. In IITs, we have brilliant stuff, but more than 25% of this stuff does not settle in their career, right? So it's not about a course, it is more about knowledge, skills, and attitude, right? Last slide of the presentation. What is the formula for success? Well, no Babaji can tell you the formula, but yes, I can tell you, if you have the right set of knowledge, right set of skills, and the corporate ready attitude, jobs are waiting for you. That's all from my side, students. We can take up questions now. Shalini, I am putting off the screen, right?
Thank you, sirs. Thank you so much for the presentation. So, students, the chat has been enabled. You can just type in your questions and direct it to the co-host. In case you have any question, please write it in the chat box. Yes, students, you can ask your questions related with IP University, related with any of the courses. Please write it in the chat box. Okay, sir. So here we have got the first question. The student is asking, you have spoken about the payment, fee payment and all. So do you have any scholarship scheme also in IP University?
That's an important question because
I think sir has lost the connection, or
The India, the
now
advantage of this richness students also get in terms of scholarships. So I can tell you, as far as scholarships are concerned, Delhi government is the best government in our country. They have so many scholarships. A very popular scholarship is Merit Cum Means scholarship. Whosoever applies for that, students get it. There is no filter, but there are two conditions. One, the student should have 60 above 60%, and second, no reappears. So if you fulfill these two conditions, you approach the Delhi government, of course, through IPU, and the scholarship is yours. Of course, these scholarships are again categorized like 100%, 50%, 25%, depending on the economic status as well. But yes, for the Merit Cum Means scholarship, there is no filter. Whosoever applies with above 60% and no reappear gets it. It's not that 100 people are applying and 10 are getting. So that's how rich the Delhi government is.
sir, another question. There is a student called Krish who is asking, what is the highest package that any student has got in your university? He has not mentioned the course or anything. He's just talking about a general question about the highest package that any student has got.
Okay, so you can check the packages of Tapsi Pannu and Gurneet Monga.
That's right.
Yes, they studied at IPU. But anyway, I can also tell you about the packages. Well, students, it's a very odd question because package is something like, I can tell you, TCS visits a college twice. You know why? One for higher package, second for lower package. Say, for example, TCS visits a college, say a IPU college, once for a package of, say, 12 lakhs per annum, another time for a package of 4 lakhs per annum. So this is the story of packages. Or in a way, what I'm trying to tell you is, it depends on your knowledge level, your skill level, and above all, your attitude. The sky is the limit. You can get any package. The only thing is that companies should visit the colleges. And in Delhi region, I can tell you that placement is not an issue, because Delhi is a hub of jobs. People from all over the India, they come to Delhi and they get jobs here. So it's an advantage for people who are living in Delhi NCR. Job is not an issue. So this is about the package. This is about the placements.
Sir, another question is that, sir, you have said that your university is in Dwarka. So, but I live in Noida. So do I need to travel all the way to Dwarka, or are there any institutions which are closer to my place?
Students, Dwarka is the headquarter. So at that place, you don't have classes, or you have very few classes. As I said in the introduction, IPU is actually a collection of colleges. IPU is made up of affiliated colleges. Say, for example, Gurneet Monga studied in a college, I believe it is at Saket, right? So these colleges make IPU. You need not go to Dwarka. You visit any nearby college, and you can get all the details about admission. The best way is you visit the college and get consult there. Need not go to Dwarka. Anyway, from Noida, Dwarka, there's a direct metro in case you are interested in going to Dwarka, that blue line.
Sir, another question is whether if I'm a science student, can I switch to any course in humanities?
As I said, the first category is the stream neutral courses. So whether it is law or BBA or journalism or hotel management, in all these courses, you don't need any kind of background. Even if you have done 12th in vocational, then also you are fit. You are fit for these courses. So stream neutral courses are there, and I think the list is long enough. Yes, only for, say, engineering you need maths, or for say MBBS you need biology. But otherwise, courses are stream neutral, and that is the trend coming up these days, because people believe that let the background be in the background only. Start fresh.
Agree, sir. Even I have noted that, that whatever you do, I think, again, as you said, your skills and attitude have a huge role to play And as you were talking about the packages also, it is, I think, going to largely depend on what your attitude and skills are, you know, the kind of package that you get.
This is what
Absolutely.
TCS will
Because everybody is going to study the same thing, but then I think the one with better knowledge, you know, the better skills and your better attitude is the one that gets a higher package. So
Yeah,
it's a combination of everything.
yeah. In the same class, TCS recruits students at a package of
Absolutely.
12 lakh, and from the very same class, they recruit at 4 lakhs.
Yes, correct.
Yes. So, sir, another question which is coming from Apurva, she's asking that what are the international opportunities for the students? Are there any student exchange programs that the university is running?
Yes, there are programs, and international exchange means, say, if you are doing a 3-year BBA, then say your internship is abroad or something like that. So this is what we mean by international exchange. IPU does not have courses wherein they 2 years in India and 1 year abroad. IPU does not go for such courses, because then these courses have a long pending issue pertaining to the recognition of degree and all that.
Absolutely.
So as far as IPU is concerned, you may go, means internship abroad or student exchange for very short duration, maybe 1 month is fine, but complete semester abroad is not there in IPU. IPU does not prescribe to that model.
Sir, another question, Mahi, she's asking, is there any institution of IPU for CA course too?
No, my dear student, for CA, you have ICAI. That is the only body which conducts CA, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. I believe one of its office is at ITO.
ITO, right.
Yeah. So that is the only organization which conducts CA. CA is not conducted by any university in India. It is conducted by ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India.
Sir, I think we can take one last question, that you have spoken about the on-the-spot admission. So can you elaborate on that? How can I get the on-the-spot admission in any of the institutions?
To walk into the college, and then they'll guide you what to do, what not to do, right? That's the best way. Spot admission means, which is a special provision because of scenario. So you can walk into your nearby college, and they can tell you what to do next, right? Yeah, one question, Shalini, has come regarding this reservation, no?
Yes, are there some reserved
Yeah.
seats also? Just on my screen, Harsh.
Harsh Bhati.
Yes, Harsh Bhati is asking.
Harsh, I can tell you that since IPU is a government university, it is governed by all the reservation guidelines, like 27% for OBC, for SC, for ST, for ex-servicemen, for physically handicapped. Yes, for each and every category, reservation is there, and it is followed very, very strictly.
Right.
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am. There's a direct question to me as well. Can I ask it?
Please, Seema ma'am.
Yeah, sir, it's like Roshan is saying that he wants to do this BBA course. What will give him good for us, marketing line of finance, if he goes through BBA?
Well, students, one thing I must tell you, that at the graduation level, there are no specializations in our country. Say, for example, it can't be BBA marketing or BBA finance or MBBS ophthalmology, right? It can't be MBBS orthopedics or something like that. These specializations come only at the postgraduate level, right? Say you can't do, BBA in international business, although such courses are there with some private universities, but in general, these courses are a failure. Why? Because, say for example, you want to go for MBA, then in BBA, you do the groundwork, no? You understand what is management, and then in MBA, I can tell you, even in post-graduation, specializations come in the second year, right? So, as far as BBA is concerned, all the subjects are taught. Like typically, there are 5 subjects in a semester. So, in 6 semesters in BBA, there are 30 subjects. In those 30 subjects, a student is trained in marketing, finance, HR, strategic management, accounts, everything, right? So the beauty of a management course is that it comprises each and every subject and the application part of that. For example, in BBA, it will not be economics, it will be managerial economics, the application part. And in all the 30 subjects, you get everything to study, but no specialization. You'll be studying marketing, finance, accounts, international business, but there is no specialization as such. At the PG level, yes, you can do MBA in international business, MBA in marketing. So this is what. As far as the scope is concerned, yes, marketing has the largest scope because everyone needs people to sell their products or services. So it has got a great scope, marketing.
Sir, there is another question which I like. That's why I'm taking it from a budding entrepreneur. He's asking, does IP University fund relevant startups?
Why not? Relevant startups, like they do have presentations from their students, and if the presentation is having a potential, then fundings are there. The colleges also fund projects. Means I know a college, IPU college in Greater Noida, which has funded something like an electric car. So if your project is having some potential, investors are there, venture capitalists are there, angel investors are there for you. Funding is not a problem, provided your project should have potential.
I think with this, we can end our session. Anybody else has any question? We can take one question, last question. Anyone has, or should we conclude with the session? Okay, so students, if you have any further queries regarding the registration of the IP University and all, which is closing on 15th July, probably it will get extended, but as of today, the registration is closing on 15th July for the passing out batch of 12th standard 2021 batch. So in case you have any queries regarding the registration and all, then you can actually call us on this numbers. I'll just write it in the chat box, 704-266-7516. So this is the number on which you can send us your queries. You can talk to the admission counselor, and that person will be able to handle all your queries. So with this, we are concluding with this session. So I would like to give a special thanks to Vandana ma'am. Without you, it would not have been possible to conduct this session. Thank you so much for organizing and for being an instrument to conduct this session. I would also like to thank Sir Ravi sir for it. It is always a pleasure to hear you. Thanks for the wonderful presentation. I hope that all the students would have enjoyed it. I would also like to thank all the students who have actually spent their, the extra hours and actually contemplated about their future. So thank you so much for attending this webinar. I would also like to thank Seema ma'am, the backend team, which was which supported us like a rock and able to keep all this session intact. So thank you all of you. Thank you so much for your attendance. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you, Shalini. Thank you, Ravikant sir. It's been a pleasure. I think there's a lot that you've compiled everything together, and it wasn't too much. It was all together, very precise, and I'm sure things have been really clear. And of course, you've shared your number also for further queries. So all the children, whatever you wish to ask, I think you may please go ahead and see, because of course this is a very, very sought after university. Children are really doing well, because I also have students of my past where I know that yes, all of them are doing pretty well and getting settled. And thank you so much for the session, and looking forward to many more such opportunities together.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, students. Thank you, teachers. Thank you, parents.
Thank you, ma'am.
It was lovely to hear a parent. One of the parents also was there, no?
Oh, wow. That's wonderful.
Yes. So it was lovely hearing everybody. Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Thank you.
I'll stop the recording.